Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, furiously complaining about how long it's taking? Or maybe you've grumbled about the weather, a long line at the store, or even your coworkers' annoying habits? Now, what if I told you that every time you complain, you're not just venting frustration, you're actually giving away control of your life? Think about it. In that moment when you're sitting in traffic, fuming over the delay, what are you gaining? Absolutely nothing. But what are you losing? Time, energy, and more importantly, the opportunity to shift your mindset, reflect, to learn, or to find peace in the chaos. Here's the truth. Complaining doesn't change your situation, it changes you. It keeps you focused on the negative, stuck in a loop of frustration, and, ironically, makes you feel even more powerless. This is why the ancient Stoics philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus warned us against it. You see, the Stoics believe something revolutionary. Your happiness doesn't depend on what happens to you. It depends on how you choose to respond. External circumstances, you can't control them. But your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, those are 100% yours. Think about it this way. When you complain, you're handing over your emotional power to the world around you. But what if, instead, you chose to hold on to it? Imagine sitting in traffic and, instead of grumbling, you use that moment to breathe deeply, listen to an inspiring podcast, or just be grateful for the safety of your car. Doesn't that feel more empowering? The Stoics had it right. Complaining isn't just a bad habit, it's a trap. It keeps us stuck in the belief that our happiness is out of our control. But the moment you stop complaining is the moment you take your power back. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you feel that urge to complain, pause, ask yourself, is this helping me or is it holding me back? When you make that shift, you'll discover a freedom and clarity you didn't even know you had. This is just the beginning of understanding the Stoic mindset, and trust me, it's life-changing. Stick around, we've got so much more to uncover together. And hey, if this message resonates with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's start a movement toward a life with less complaining and more living. Let me ask you, how often do you find yourself focusing on what's wrong in your life? Maybe it's traffic that makes you late, a mistake at work, or even something as small as the weather not cooperating. It's easy to get caught up in these frustrations, isn't it? But here's the thing, every time you do, you're training your brain to see more of the bad and less of the good. Let's break this down. Complaining is like staring at a crack in the wall and ignoring the beauty of the entire house around it. The more you focus on that crack, the bigger it feels. That's exactly what happens when we fixate on what's going wrong. We magnify the negatives and shrink the positives. The Stoics had a powerful insight about this. They taught that while we can't control the external world, things like traffic, weather, or other people, we absolutely can control how we react. It's not the situation itself that causes frustration, but the way we choose to interpret it. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic. Instead of fuming and letting the negativity consume you, what if you saw it as a moment to practice patience? Or maybe a chance to reflect on something positive in your life? What if that extra time in the car became an opportunity to listen to an inspiring podcast or plan your day? The truth is, complaining solves nothing. It doesn't fix the traffic, the weather, or the mistake. But what it does do is drain your energy and trap you in a cycle of frustration. On the other hand, shifting your focus empowers you. It gives you the freedom to see challenges as opportunities. So the next time you catch yourself spiraling into negativity, pause. Look at the bigger picture. Ask yourself, how can I respond to this in a way that brings peace, not stress? When you make this mental shift, you're not just avoiding frustration, you're actively creating a life that feels more fulfilling and in control. And remember, life is far too short to spend it staring at cracks. Let's choose to see the whole house instead. Have you ever stopped to think about what you're really saying when you complain? Every time you grumble about bad service, long lines, or a situation that didn't go your way, what you're really declaring is, I'm powerless here. Let's pause on that for a second. Powerless. How does that feel? Not great, right? But here's the good news. You're not powerless. And the Stoics? They knew this thousands of years ago. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca believed that real strength doesn't come from controlling what happens to us. Instead, it comes from controlling how we react. Every time we complain, we shift the blame outward. It's the traffic's fault. It's the weather's fault. It's that barista's fault for being too slow. But here's the thing, complaining doesn't solve the problem. It only reinforces the idea that you're at the mercy of the world around you. Now imagine this. What if instead of complaining, you chose a different response? What if you used that long line as a moment to breathe deeply, catch up on an audiobook, or simply appreciate the pause in your busy day? It might sound small, but this shift is huge. You're no longer saying, "This situation controls me." Instead, you're saying, "I control me." And let me tell you, this mindset shift is life-changing. The Stoics taught us that our true power lies in owning our reactions. When you stop blaming external circumstances and start focusing on your internal response, you're taking back control. You're no longer a victim, you're a victor. So, here's a question for you. The next time life throws you a curveball, what will you choose? Will you let the situation control you, or will you control yourself? That choice right there is where your freedom begins. Stick around for more insights like this, and if you're ready to take back your life, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's navigate this journey together. Have you ever noticed how a single complaint can spiral into an entire day of negativity? You stub your toe in the morning, you complain. The coffee shop is out of your favorite drink, you complain again. And before you know it, every little inconvenience feels like a mountain you just can't climb. Here's what's really happening. Complaining doesn't just reflect stress, it creates stress. When you focus on what's going wrong, you're telling your brain to stay in fight or flight mode, heightening anxiety and tension. It's like pouring gasoline on a tiny spark of frustration, turning it into a raging fire. Now, the Stoic philosopher Seneca had a brilliant observation about this. He said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that for a second. The situations we complain about often aren't as bad as they seem. What makes them feel unbearable is the story we tell ourselves about them. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic. Your first instinct might be to grumble about the delay, picturing all the ways it's ruining your day. But what if you reframed it? What if, instead of seeing traffic as an obstacle, you saw it as a chance to slow down, to listen to a favorite playlist, or to simply practice patience? That shift doesn't just lower your stress, it changes your entire experience. The Stoics believe that every frustration carries within it a hidden lesson. Instead of letting complaints rule your mind, try asking yourself, what can I learn here? Maybe it's resilience. Maybe it's the art of letting go. Or maybe it's simply the realization that not every problem needs a reaction. Life is full of challenges, but how we handle them defines the quality of our days. The next time you feel stress bubbling up, pause. Take a deep breath, and remember, every complaint is a chance to rewrite your story. If this resonates with you, like and share this video. Let's turn stress into strength together. Have you ever been around someone who just won't stop complaining? You start the conversation on a high note, but soon, it's like the air is sucked out of the room. Their negativity lingers, draining the energy of everyone around them. Now, here's the tough question. Have you ever been that person? Complaining doesn't just impact you, it affects everyone within earshot. When we vent excessively, we create a ripple effect of negativity, often without realizing it. And over time, this can erode trust, connection, and even the joy in our relationships. The Stoics understood this all too well. They taught that wisdom lies not just in knowing what to say, but also in knowing when to stay silent. Complaining is easy, it's reactive. But expressing yourself calmly and constructively, that's an art. Imagine this. Instead of venting about a colleague who frustrated you, you take a step back and say, "Hey, I noticed we had some tension earlier. Can we find a way to work through it together?" The difference is monumental. Instead of dragging someone into a pit of negativity, you're inviting them to a space of mutual respect and problem solving. Relationships thrive when there's openness, but not when they're clouded by relentless complaints. Think about your closest connections, friends, family, coworkers. What kind of environment are you creating with your words? Are you fostering positivity and understanding, or are you unknowingly weighing them down? The next time you feel the urge to complain, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me build a bridge or burn one? Choose your words wisely and watch how your relationships transform. If this perspective speaks to you, hit that like button and share this video with someone who inspires you to be better. Together, let's build connections that lift us higher. Picture this. You've had a long, tough day at work. Deadlines piled up, conversations went sideways, and by the end, all you want to do is vent. It's human nature, right? But what if I told you that venting doesn't just make you feel worse? It actually rewires your brain to look for negativity. What if, instead, there was a way to break this cycle? This is where gratitude comes in. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential Stoics, knew its power. He believed that gratitude is like a lens that shifts our focus from what's wrong to what's right. It reminds us that even in our hardest moments, there are blessings to be found. Let me ask you this. Have you ever paused during a tough day to reflect on what's still going well? Maybe your coffee was perfectly brewed that morning. Maybe a coworker gave you a kind word. Or maybe you simply made it through a challenge, stronger than before. Here's a simple practice. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Big or small, it doesn't matter. Over time, this habit trains your mind to notice the good event when the bad feels overwhelming. Science backs this up too. Studies have shown that people who actively practice gratitude experience lower stress, improved mental health, and stronger relationships. And guess what? They complain less because their mindset has shifted from scarcity to abundance. So, next time you catch yourself wanting to complain, pause. Ask yourself, what can I be grateful for in this moment? It's not about ignoring the negative sets, about choosing to amplify the positives. If this message resonates, hit that like button, share it with a friend, and let's start a gratitude movement together. The world is brighter when we see it through a grateful heart. Let's talk about challenges. You know, those moments when life throws something tough your way, a demanding project, a difficult conversation, or maybe just one of those days where everything feels uphill. What's your first instinct? Is it to complain? Maybe even to avoid it altogether? If so, you're not alone. But here's the twist. What if challenges aren't obstacles, but opportunities in disguise? The Stoics had a unique perspective on this. They saw every challenge as a chance to grow, a chance to become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Think about that. What if the very thing you're dreading, the stressful work project, the awkward family gathering, the marathon training, could be the key to your next breakthrough? Let me share a quick story. A friend of mine recently took on a work project that everyone else was avoiding. It was messy, complex, and full of roadblocks. But instead of complaining, she leaned in. She used it as a chance to sharpen her skills, build relationships, and prove her value. And guess what? That project ended up being the stepping stone to her promotion. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. Growth rarely is. But every time you face a challenge, you have 2 choices. You can complain and stay stuck, or you can embrace it and move forward. So, the next time life hands you something tough, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? How can I grow from this? When you stop running from challenges and start seeing them as opportunities, you unlock a version of yourself you didn't even know existed. If this mindset shift resonates with you, hit that like button, share this video, and let's start reframing challenges together, because every obstacle is a step closer to the person you're meant to be. Let's take a moment to reflect. How many times today did you find yourself complaining? Was it about the traffic, the weather, or maybe even the behavior of someone close to you? Now ask yourself this: did any of that complaining change the situation? Or did it just drain your energy, leaving you feeling more stuck than before? Complaining is deceptively easy, isn't it? It feels like a release in the moment, but the truth is, it doesn't fix the problem. In fact, it does something worse. It chips away at your inner strength. It convinces you, little by little, that you're a victim of your circumstances. But there's another way. The Stoics taught us that happiness isn't about bending the world to our will, it's about mastering how we respond to it. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Imagine this. Instead of complaining about a frustrating day, you pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? That mindset shift doesn't just help you manage the situation, it transforms it into an opportunity. When you break free from the cycle of complaining, you reclaim your power. You stop focusing on what's wrong and start creating what's right. And that's when life changes, not because the circumstances become easier, but because you become stronger. So, here's the takeaway. Stop complaining. Start living with purpose. Because happiness isn't waiting for you in a perfect moment or a better situation. It's in how you choose to face every moment, right here, right now. If this message resonates, share it with someone who might need to hear it. And remember, every day is a chance to let go of complaints and embrace purpose. Let's do it together.